Bismillah. So, Assalamu alaikum everyone. So today I'm gonna teach you how to build a profiling program. And what a program is, a profiling program is basically a script that asks the user for some information, personal information actually, and saves it into a file or a database. And what I'm gonna do in this one exactly is make you build or show you how to build that profiling program, and while doing so we are going to be introduced together to some of the Python fundamentals. So let's begin. First of all, let's create a main script for our program. We have to have a main.py script, and let's change that to run our def. So here I'm gonna define a function by using the def keyword, the def keyword. So my function should be called main, and there we go. I'm gonna call my main function using this parentheses. So this is a function and I'm using this parentheses, so call it. So first of all, I need to create a second function which will be called greetings, which will tell our user welcome to the profiling program. Okay, we need some information from you or about you. Okay, next of all, we need to call that function and execute it from inside of this main function. So let's do that. Let's do greetings parentheses. So we did execute that function. Next up, we need to create another function that will get the information from the user. So we need to create, or we need to name it get information. And for this we are gonna have 3 or 5 variables, and what those variables are, we need a first name, and we are gonna ask him or get input from the user using this function. Instead of the print now, we are gonna use the input, create a string again by using this double quotation marks, and we are gonna ask him for your name. Okay, enter your name, last name. For this one I'm gonna give him an input to ask him for entering his last name. Okay, so we got a full name there. Next up, we are gonna need the email, so please enter your email address. Next thing, we are going to create an address variable which will store the value that the user will give to this input thing. Enter your home address, place, and next we are going to create another variable called origin, which will hold this value to be printed for the user, and then save or hold the value that the user will enter in this space. So this function should return all of these values and all of these that the user gave to us. So we are going to return the first name, so this function will be returning something, so it will be returning the first name, the last name, the email address, the address, and the origin. Okay, so if we want actually to use these variables, we need to unpack this function into another 5 variables like this. So we are gonna need a first name, a last name, the email address, the address here, and the origin for this one. And we are gonna unpack these variables or unpack that function in these variables. So each variable here is gonna hold one value from these variables that will the function return for us. So get information to execute this function, and then it will return all of these to these variables. Okay, next thing I need to create another function that will actually save the data. So let's call it, or let's just execute what we have so far. So far we have a function that will ask us for our name, so Ahmed, and this one last name is show, email address is ahmed@gmail.com. okay, enter your home address, Morocco for example. Where are you from? Morocco or Ghana in this one. And then the program gets closed. So what we need to do next is to print whatever information the user gave to us. So let's call it print card. Let's call this function print card. The print card function will need a first name, a last name. So here I'm gonna specify parameters that will this function need in order to work with, or in order to be executed successfully and to not get or show us any errors. So first name, last name, we will need the email address or email address, and we will need the home address, we need that one too, and the origin. We will need all the 5 variables. Okay, next thing I need just to pass this for a moment please. So next thing we need to print this as a paragraph. So we need to create a variable that will hold our paragraph. So let's call it bio paragraph, or our bio or our card, and let's use an F string for this one. First of all, I'm gonna create, or I'm gonna go to a new line using the n, or the /n/t for a new tab, or for a tab, and print hello, first name and last name, or first name like this, last name. What this will do is it will go ahead, and we are telling it here to go ahead to a new line. After that we are telling it to go and press tab in here, and then go ahead and tell the user hello, first name. This first name will be changed to whatever this first name holds, which will actually change to whatever this first name is being returned from this get information. So this will be whatever the user gave to us. So next, and why this is being replaced by this one and actually not been used as a normal string, because we are using this brackets right here, and we are using the F string or FDF formatting string. So let's go and continue. I need a comma right there, and I need a new line, and a new tab. After that I'm gonna print the email, and the email of our user, just like this, will be just replaced just like the last one. After this I need a new line and a new tab for the origin. Okay, so the origin should be like this, origin variable, excuse me, oops, okay, that's that. Our variable is done. So what this will do, it will go to a new line, a tab, hello, first name, last name. So this is the full name of the user, it will print out the email address and the origin. So we forgot actually something. We forgot the address, the home address. So the address should be like this one. Okay, the address should be home address. Okay, should be the home address, then comma, and here I do need to specify a new line and a new tab. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's print the p bio. Okay, here I need to call the function. To use this function I need to call it again in the main function that we executed. So this is actually the only function that is being executed in the main scope of the program. So everything else is just being called from the inside of this function. So next step, I need to use the print card function that will take these parameters as arguments in here. So first name, last name. Actually the parameters and the arguments that I give to the function should not actually be exact. So the parameters can have different names from the arguments that I'm gonna give it. So these are the arguments. Last name, email, address is being replaced by the home address, and the origin is the same actually. So we didn't actually change this variable from the all functions. Next step, I need to execute this to see what we got. So python main.py, what's your name? Ahmed. Give it issue in here, enter your email, so issue@gmail.com, enter your home address, Ghana. You can win. Okay, where are you from? Let's say Ghana. Okay, so this is our card that's being printed. So this is a new line, this one is a new line, and this space is a tab that we have in our variable. Okay, and this is the whole variable that's being printed. This is the email, the values that the user gave to the script. Next thing, we need to create a function in here to save that data in a .txt file or in a file in general. So let's actually define that function using the def keyword, and let's call it save data. Okay, so to save the data, this function should have the same parameters as this one, but not actually the same in writing. So we need the first name, the last name, the email address, the home address, and the origin. Okay, and we need to pass this. So what this will do is it will create a new file that will actually have the data inside of it. So let's do that. So with open, so I'm gonna use the with here, the with keyword here, with open profiles.txt. The method that we are gonna use is the write method. So as file in here, the two tabs in the space convention. So file, write, new line, this to specify a new profile. So I'm gonna write a new line, first name, string, first name, file, write, last name, Okay, next I'm gonna use the last name. Next thing, I'm gonna use a new line to save the email of the user too. So email address is like this, plus the string of the email address, or actually what I have made a mistake here. I'm gonna use these parameters, not the ones that I want. So last name, that's that. The email should be em, that's good. Okay, the next one is gonna be right address in this one, and it will take the string of h address, so home address. The next one will write the n, let's change the origin from nationality, or let's just leave it like that. So origin, so the origin of the origin, and after this origin, let's just add a new line. Okay, so let's add a new line, and we are actually done. So let's have another print statement that says profile has been saved. Okay, and let's execute all of this, or let's actually use this in the main function. So save data, this will take the first name, the last name, the email, the address, and the origin. Okay, and let's see if this goes through. So execute the main.py, and your name, my name is Ahmed Isho. Okay, ahmed@gmail.com, for example. The home address is Morocco, Rabat, for example. Okay, where are you from? Morocco. So hello Isho, email address. Okay, so let's list. Okay, so let's list my files here to see if the profiles exist. So it does exist, and it's been created .txt, and let's cut the profiles content. Okay, so it's been creating a new file. So this is all in this course, and just to recap what we have done, we have created a div, we have created a function using the div keyword. We have created actually 4 of those, or 5 of those, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have created a greetings function, a get information function. We discovered how to write variables, how to give a value for variables, and how to change that value every time. So we have seen how to call a function by simply calling it using the parentheses. We have seen how to call a function and saving and unpacking its data in 5 or other variables, and we have seen a function that takes parameters and arguments in its content and executing using these variables and those arguments to have saved our data in here and printing it to the screen in this one. And finally, we did execute the main function to make all of that happen just like magic. And see you in the next lecture, inshallah.